everyone, I'm Lauren and welcome back to my channel. This is Light in Labrador, where we talk about all things books, my own writing journey, and today I'm going through the books that I read in April. My April wrap up is kind of around the same as normal. I got through 4 books this month, which I'm kind of happy with because the first couple of weeks I didn't read a lot. I think I've been in a bit of a reading slump and I can't kind of get out of it, so I'm happy that I got through 4 books and yeah, let's get through them. The first book that I read in April was The Curious Incident of a Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Haddon. I gave this book 4 stars. I thought it was a really interesting choice of narrator. I've never read any book that has the narrator as a person who has autism. This particular main character had Asperger's syndrome, and it was insightful, and I feel like I've learned a lot from seeing how the world is viewed from the eyes of someone with this particular condition. I didn't realise that people with Asperger's tended to be quite so literal with everything and the way that the world is viewed and how regimented it is. I thought it was a really interesting story, and I loved the way that it was done as if the narrator was writing his own storybook about what had happened with this dog on the street that he had found. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I don't want to give away too much because there's no point in reading it if you get all the intricacies, but if you want to read a book which I think is actually really good autism representation, then I would definitely check this book out. I took a star off it. I'm not really sure why. I think it's just because it didn't fully grip me in the way that I would have hoped the book to do, but I don't know if it's just because I was expecting something a little bit different. I didn't really know what the book was about before I went into it though. The second book that I read in April was Nick by Michael Farris Smith. I gave this book 3.5 stars. This is a Great Gatsby prequel and I received it as an art from NetGalley. It was an okay book, but I feel like there was 2 plots to this rather than just one succinct plot. So we follow Nick in his life before moving to Long Island and finding Gatsby, and we are taken through the trench life in World War I, and then we are transposed to New Orleans in the pre-Prohibition era, and the 2 parts were very sort of like contrasted and there was a massive juxtaposition, and I think that's the main reason I couldn't really get into this. We spent, I think it was about 40% of the book dealing with the trenches and then moving across to New Orleans where there was another storyline going off, and the 2 didn't really connect. It was all just Nick kind of trying to find his place in the world, and because of that I didn't really enjoy it that much. I thought it was an okay read. If you are interested in reading about sort of like New Orleans, I think it's kind of good, but yeah, it just, I don't know, there was just something that I couldn't get with it, and maybe it's just not a book that was aimed at for me. I really loved The Great Gatsby when I read it as part of my course for A-levels, but this just didn't sit with me. The third book that I read in April was Shadow of the Fox by Julie Piggott. I absolutely loved this book. I gave it 4.5 stars. I dropped half a star because I did kind of put it down and then not read it for like a week and a half, so clearly it didn't grip me too much, but I did really love it. I have never read a book that was set with Japanese culture before, and I really enjoyed this sort of introduction to that part of the world. I also really enjoyed learning the Japanese words, so quite a lot of the words chucked in throughout the book are actually Japanese, and I felt like I was learning a language at the same time as reading this book, which I absolutely loved. I loved that little sort of added extra to the book, and I'm so excited. I've got the next 2 books in the trilogy on hold with my library. I'm just hoping for them to come through soon because I just need to finish this trilogy because I absolutely loved it. The only downside I had was with Yumiko's character. I feel like she was a little bit too naive at times, and I know that that was part of the upbringing for this character, but yeah, it seemed like a little bit too over the top with the naivety, and she didn't ever seem to learn from that. I don't know if that's going to be expanded upon in the rest of the books, but yeah, that was a kind of a little bit of a takeaway from that. And the 4th and final book that I read in April was Uncomfortable, a series of short unedited essays by the loudmouth brown girl by Devon J. Hall. I think that's the correct title, but there will be a picture of the cover here. This is a non-fiction book by Devon J. Hall. She has a blog called The Loudmouth Brown Girl. I gave this book 4 stars out of 5. It was a really insightful piece of writing. It's 12 essays from Devon trying to explore the sexual abuse that she has suffered previously in her life, and how she is not coming to terms with it, but taking back the control from her life, and also sort of dealing with all the issues that have come from that. So I would really recommend this book. She has self-published it. It is definitely unedited. There are some bits where it is a little jarring, but it says it's unedited, so I'm not going to complain about that, and I didn't take any stars off from that. I think that non-fiction is really difficult for me to sort of grade in terms of star ratings, but I did really enjoy it. I thought it was a wonderful piece of writing, and yeah, I think a lot of people need to read this and understand the way that Devon is coming to terms with this and what she's doing. Her blog Loudmouth Brown Girl has been going for 4 years, and it's sort of like, I feel like this book is a good accompaniment to the blog, and I've read some of her blog posts before and I really enjoyed it, so I think this is why I transposed into liking the book so much. But yeah, one of the main sort of like background themes of this book is the sexual abuse that Devon has dealt with in her past. So if that is something that you are uncomfortable with, or is something that triggers you and you find it difficult to read, then maybe don't read this one, but otherwise I would really recommend this book. So those are all the books that I read in April. It was just a quick month this month. I did enjoy the books, they're really good, but I think I'm going to be slightly more ambitious with May. I don't know. Wait to see what May's TBR is, I guess. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a like, and also don't forget to hit subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. There's a new one out every single week. I hope you're well and you're all staying safe, and until next time, bye!